Greetings, Internet. I just wanted to make a quick tutorial about how to use Photoshop. So let's get started. So once you launch Photoshop, this is the desktop you will see. And you'll see a couple different things here. Here are all the tools on this side that change the image that you could cut and paste and erase and type text or change colors of things. Over here you got a little color picker. And this area is where your layers are going to go, and this is very important to think about or to know about. And up here is just some information about your text or whatever you put on your page. Now it's important to remember that what happens in Photoshop is all done in layers. So when you stack things on top, you're going to stack images and edits on top of each other. So let's get started so I can show you exactly what we're talking about here. So I'm just going to import just a basic picture here. Alright, so here's our picture. So first we're going to do is we're just going to take a look at the image size. Alright, so this is actual physical size, so in inches. So you print this out, it's going to actually print this size on your printer in images. For resolution, when we're talking about the 72 is how you want to create your images for the web. You don't want to do a 300 dpi for internet images, things that you're going to put on websites because they won't load quick. But if you're, for example, this is an internet image that I got off the Kinetic MLS, so it was rendered at a 72 resolution. But if I was going to make a logo that I was going to print and send to a printing company, or make a CD cover, or anything that's going to physically be printed on a computer, I would want to do it in 300 dpi. So that's what we're going to do here, is we're going to make this 300 dpi. As you can see, the picture obviously got bigger. So how do we make this smaller? You want to you just basically back away from the picture so we could work on it easy. You want to do Control or Command if you're working on a Apple, but if you're on a PC, it's Control minus will move you away from it. Control plus will move you forward. And then from here, you can see that we have our first layer, which is our background layer. Alright, so now let's say we want to put text on top of it. Alright, so we go over here to the T, anywhere on the page, click it. You can see we've created another layer. So it's stacked on top of this layer. We type whatever text we want. Alright, now from here, you'll be able to grab it, move it wherever you want to do it. You can see these lines pop up to kind of give you an indicator of where exactly the middle of the page is. Alright, so that's how we would add text. Very simple. Then you could come over here, you could do all sorts of stuff to it. For example, if you wanted to spread the text apart, just move this back and forth. Boom. You could change your font. You got your bold, whatever. This is pretty basic stuff over here. Alright, so now let's get into cutting this picture apart and changing the actual image itself. Alright, so you got some cool tools over here to use. Alright, what we want to do, right now we're just going to use this tool. We're going to cut this door out. And you click, and click, and click, 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 click. Now it's all together and it's highlighted. You can see the highlight going around it. Alright, so we have this door now. Now what do we want to do? We're going to copy it. Alright, see, it said that I couldn't do it, and the reason why is because I'm still on the text layer. So I'm going to go to the background layer, click and make sure that we're on that. So now it knows that that's what we're going to get. Edit, copy, edit, and paste. Alright, and it looks like nothing happened. But we actually, if you see over here, we created another layer. So if you go on this, click it, you can move it. Now we got two doors. Uh-oh. So we've created another layer, we've cut this door out, and we've pasted it right next to it. Let's put it over here. Let's just leave it there for now. Alright, so now this is its own little image. From here, if we wanted to change this image, we go to Image, Edit, and you got two different styles, Free Transform or Transform. Free Transform, I like to use. You can see it's highlighted around there now. And now you could do whatever you want to do with it. Make it shorter, smaller, bigger. You could flip it upside down. You could do whatever you want to do. Now, if you want to get real crazy with it, And let's say, obviously, this image, it doesn't really fit that area right there, but we want to, it's called skewing. We want to skew the image. We could actually bring it in towards us or bring it out. Let me show you. Free transform, skew. This is cool. Okay? And now we can make it match. There. Now it looks like a real Waterbury door in a house that was built in the 1800s. Let's put that back over there. That's more accurate. All right. And we hit apply, and then there's the door. You could still move it around. And now, as you see over here, you got all your layers. And the more layers you have, you could turn them on and off. If I want to not see that door, boom. We got some other cool tools that we could be messing with too. For example, if you wanted to put effects on that door, that layer itself, like you could add, this is where all your effects would be. FX under for that particular layer, drop shadow, and then from here you can mess with, see if you notice on the doors, the drop shadow is getting a little bit bigger. Boom, boom. You can change the color of it from here if you want. And you can really get, you could critique this to get absolutely perfect with it. Now, let's talk about saving the image. We've done some basic edits, but let's talk about saving. When you save this image, you want to save it depending on what you're using it for. Now, if you're saving it as like just a picture to print and put in a photo book or even web page, a JPEG is good. Personally, I use PNGs for everything, and the reason I use a PNG for everything is because sometimes I might use the same image to put in a print, whether a brochure or whatever, but I might also want to take that image and put it on a website. Obviously, I'd have to render it down to 72 dpi, which is simple to do. I'll just do that right now for the sake of talking about it. It's in 300 dpi right now. Image size, and if I printed this, it would print this exact size, 8.8. And so when I make business cards, I physically measure a business card with a ruler and then type in my parameters right here, and then it gives me the actual size of the business card right on the screen, and when I print it, it prints out the same way. But anyway, let's say we're going to be putting it on a website. We render it back down to 72 dpi. Okay, boom, down, command plus, brings the image closer to us. Now we could see it. And I would file, save as, and you could save it as whatever you want. Now, here is a PSD, is a Photoshop file. So when I save that file, it will save only able to, let's just do it, test. Okay, PSD test, we're going to save it right on my desktop. Okay, and we're going to get out of here. We're going to quit Photoshop temporarily. All right, now let's go find it. Here it is right here. Test on that. It's going to launch Photoshop. But we have all our layers still. Okay. When you're exporting, you're actually squishing all these layers down into one. If you were going to export as a PNG or a JPEG or a GIF, you're going to squish them all down into one. So we'll do that too. And then that would be an image that you could push on or put on a website. So save as, we could just change it down here, PNG, text PNG, save. Okay, now notice, all the layers are just squished into the background, so that's one image now. Okay, file, and then now it's saved. Okay, so we've saved it. Now what happens? Hey, I didn't save it as a Photoshop file, PSD file. I got to edit this thing again. What do I do? How do I get all my layers back? All right, what you want? You could just go and hit back. This undo and forward will take care of usually any problems that you have. You could always step back or step forward with any problems that you may have. Now, I'm going to do one last thing here. I'm going to cut these sides of this image off. First, actually, what I'm going to do is I'm going to make a new file because we're going to make a GIF file. Okay, so let's do that. File, new. Now, when you make a new image, what you want to know is your background. It's kind of like if you were going to do it on a glass table if you were going to actually cut physical pictures apart on a glass table, or if you were going to cut it on a white table, the table was physically white or black. It's not your image, it's just what your surface you're working on with. I like to use transparent, so that's what we're going to start with. Transparent. Now what we have here, it would have made any shape, but these were the parameters that were saved in. This is nothing, okay? This means that there is nothing there. So whatever image I bring in, let's say this image, just a random image, okay? And I'm going to have to import it. So I've opened it up again. As you can see here, I've got different things going on. I got our original Photoshop file. I got the one we just started working with, where we're going to make a GIF file. And then this is what I just imported. So what we want to do is we're going to take this, we're going to highlight it. We're going to highlight it by holding down the click button and going over it, and then boom, you've captured it. Now it's highlighted. We're going to file, we're going to copy, we're going to go back into our other file here that's just transparent, there's nothing here. Edit, we're going to paste it in. Okay, now obviously it doesn't fit. So what we're going to do is we're going to go in here, we're going to free transform, mash it down in there just for the sake of doing something. Now we're going to cut some edges off of this thing. Apply. Let's say we didn't want this. We want an image that's going to sit over another image. We don't want all this extra stuff on it. Okay? Now, when I save this as a GIF file, it physically saves as that shape, the actual shape of this image itself. Okay? It doesn't save as square, it saves as whatever shape is cut out because the back is transparent. And I'll show you what I'm talking about. File, save as. GIF and PNG files both do this. So we're going to save it as a, we'll save it as a PNG for now. PNG. We're going to call it a test shape. PNG on the desktop being saved. Boom. Okay. Let's go back to the desktop, take a look at this thing. Where is it? Okay, so as you can see, it's the shape. This gray is rendered by Apple. Okay, there's nothing there. If I was able to physically go in with, if I was in virtual reality in this computer, I could pick this thing up and it will be that shape. So how does that help me, Carl? What good is that for me? Alright, so what we could do is now copy this, go back to our other image that we were playing around with, paste it in, and as you can see, it's a different shape on there. Now this is very helpful when if I needed to make an image that was just this square or tiny little piece that I wanted to put in over here, and boom. Now again, if I wanted to flatten all these images down, I could do that too. I could flatten these images and squeeze them all down into just the background. So let's say I like this. This is my art and I love it and it's how I want it to be, and I'm not going to do any more edits with it. All right, so we do layer. I flatten all my images by accident most of the time. I'm starting to sway away from that because I've noticed I really don't have to do that to export it, but for the sake of this channel, I'm going to do it here. Now it's flattened, it's squished down. Okay, now I could save it however I want. I could save this whole thing as a GIF, whatever, and then take it off and do whatever I got to do. But if I wanted to get back and change one of my layers again, undo flatten image, boom, everything's back there. All right. If you have any questions, you hit me up on my YouTube channel.